If you're an Aussie in your 30s or 40s right now, you need to understand that this decade is going to determine whether you retire comfortably or whether you're still working at 75. Now I know what you're thinking, you're busy, you've got a mortgage, you're focused on the kids, cost of living is through the roof, and retirement feels like a million years away. But in your 30s and 40s, a little can go a long way. And this is a decade where small decisions compound into life-changing results. And if you get this right, you won't just retire comfortably, you'll retire with options. So in this video, I'm going to walk through exactly how to secure retirement in Australia. We're talking about super, we're going to talk about debt, we're going to talk about investing, and I'm even going to reveal some opportunities that most Australians are completely missing right now. Opportunities that could set you up for the next 20 years. And I'm not going to give you a theory, I'm going to give you exact steps that I've used with my clients over 20 years as a financial advisor. Steps that actually work in the real world. So let's get into it. Part 1, the reality check. According to AFSFA, if you want to retire comfortably as a homeowner, you're going to need about $55,000 a year if you're single and $77,000 a year as a couple. Now that's not luxury, that's just comfortable. And to fund that, you'll need roughly $630,000 in super if you're single and $730,000 if you're a couple by age 67. And this assumes you own your own home. The problem is most Australians are nowhere near that. They're not contributing enough to super, they're sitting in bad debt, and they're not investing outside of super. And the longer you wait, the harder it gets. For example, if you contribute $100 a week to super for 32 years at a 7% annual return, you'll end up with about $622,000. But if you wait 10 years and do the same thing for only 22 years, you'll end up with about $272,000. Same weekly amount, but starting 10 years earlier gets you an extra $350,000. That's more than double. So your 30s and 40s are too important to waste. Part 2, super first. So let's talk about super because this is where most people get it wrong. Right now, the super guarantee is 12%, meaning your employer must contribute 12% of your ordinary earnings into super. That's the law from July 2025. But I recommend you contribute more. It's standard advice, but it works. The concessional contributions cap is $30,000 a year. That's the amount that can go into super as a concessional contribution, including employer contributions, salary sacrifice, and personal contributions, where you claim a tax deduction for. And if you haven't used your full cap in the previous years and your super balance is under $500,000, you can carry forward those unused amounts. That means if you have a good year, maybe a bonus or you sell an asset, you can contribute extra, claim a tax deduction, and invest inside super's lower tax environment. It's not completely tax-free while you're building, but it is tax effective. Concessional contributions are generally taxed at 15%, and investment earnings in super are generally taxed at 15% also. There's also a non-concessional contributions cap of $120,000 a year. These are after-tax contributions. You don't get a deduction, but you also don't pay contributions tax on the way in. Earnings are still taxed at 15% while the money is in accumulation phase. And if you're in lower income, the government will actually help you. The co-contribution can provide up to $500 if you earn up to $47,488, with a partial benefit up to $62,488. There's also Listo, which can refund up to $500 of contributions tax if you earn up to $37,000. The point is this, super is one of the most tax-effective ways to build long-term wealth in Australia. And if you're in your 30s and 40s, you need to be maxing it out as much as you can. Part 3, protect the base. Now, before we talk about investing, we need to talk about protecting the base. What I mean is you need to have an emergency fund. You need to have the right insurance and you need to be paying down bad debt. First, build an emergency fund. ASIC's Money Smart suggests keeping about 3 months worth of expenses in cash and savings. But if that feels like a lot, start with 1 month. The goal is to avoid putting unexpected costs like a job loss, car repairs, or home maintenance on high interest credit cards. You can have this in a savings account or in a cash ETF like BetaShares Australian High Interest Cash ETF, AAA. Next, insurance. Most super funds automatically provide life insurance and TBD cover, and some also provide income protection. But if your super account goes inactive for 16 months without a contribution, the insurance can be cancelled. And if you consolidate your super, you could lose cover or end up with different cover if you don't check first. So before you consolidate, make sure you understand what insurance you have and what you might be giving up. If you've got family dependents or a mortgage, that protection can matter. Finally, debt. Now, not all debt is bad. If you've got an investment line or a mortgage, that's fine. But if you're funding your lifestyle with debt and you're buying toys on finance and if you're putting holidays on credit cards, that's a problem. Because if you've got a home loan at 6%, every extra dollar you put on that mortgage gives you a guaranteed interest saving equal to your mortgage rate. That's a strong low risk return, especially when the debt is non-deductible. So pay down your non-deductible debt. Attack it hard because the faster you get rid of that, the more money you'll have to invest. Part 4, learn to invest. Now, I know you're busy. You don't have time to become a market expert. But if you don't understand how investing works, you could be making mistakes that will cost you thousands of dollars. So start reading books, start following blogs, and subscribe to ETF Advisor. But the main point is find someone whose views gel with yours and learn as much as you can from them. Because learning online from the comfort of your own home, from the best in the business, has never been easier. But be careful, don't fall for the get-rich-quick schemes. Don't fall for the gurus on YouTube who promise 500% returns in 30 days. And don't fall for the deepfake celebrity videos promoting AI investment schemes. That stuff's a scam. Focus on the fundamentals, asset allocation, diversification, risk, and ETFs. Because the Aussie market has changed, ETFs now give Australian investors simple access to international markets, sectors, and themes that used to be difficult to reach right here on the ASX. And if you want to see which ETFs are moving from base to trend right now, check the link in the description. Our model portfolio in the newsletter is up 9.92% since June 2025, compared to the ASX at 4.42%. So we've already doubled the performance of the market, and there's a 20% off yearly subscription, so check it out. Part 5, don't bet on one asset class. Now here's another mistake I see all the time. People get obsessed with one asset class. They go all in property or all in shares, or they just leave everything in super and never think about it. But there's a time and place for everything. Property's had an incredible run in Australia over the last decade. But if you look at the data, property goes through long bases and then long trends. There have been periods for over a decade where property didn't grow at all. Just look at Perth property prices. This chart isn't inflation adjusted. So if you bought in April 2006, you would have been going backwards for over a decade. So if all your money is one asset and it goes into a long base, you're stuck. What you want is diversification, shares, property, super, and a cash buffer. You want it all to be working together if you can. Part 6, self-managed super funds versus normal super. So at what point does managing your own super actually make sense? Let's look at the math first. A low complexity self-managed super fund like the kind I recommend typically costs about $2,500 a year to run in administration and compliance. And that cost is largely fixed. And then you add your investment costs on top of that. Compare that to a large industry fund charging, for example, 1% on $1 million balance. That's $10,000 a year. Same complexity. With $1 million balance, you could be potentially saving thousands of dollars a year depending on your investment selection. But if you're in your 30s and 40s, you probably don't have $1 million balance yet. So when should you consider switching? Well, fees matter, but then only part of the picture. A self-managed super fund can make sense when the costs stack up and when you also want control, you're disciplined, and you're comfortable with the extra responsibility. But if your balance is smaller or you prefer a simpler set and forget option, a good low fee industry fund is often the better fit. Before you make the move, speak to a licensed financial advisor with self-managed super fund expertise. Now, if you do run a self-managed super fund, I recommend a simple core satellite structure. Skip to the next section if you've already seen me talk about this in other videos. But the simplicity is how you can get your investment fees right down. So the core is about 70 to 85% in broad, low-cost diversified holdings. All you need here is one single diversified ETF to do the heavy lifting. So if you're in your 30s or 40s and far from retirement, I recommend DHHF, BetaShares Diversified All Growth ETF, or VDAL, Vanguard All Growth ETF, because you get a strong allocation to growth assets while you're building your nest egg. And once you get closer to retirement, say 10 years out, you can dial down the risk. The satellites are 15 to 30% where you capture what the core misses. Themes like AI, cybersecurity, robotics, China, defense, commodities, precious metals, high risk, high potential rewards, sized appropriately. And this is where the opportunities lie, as I will explain soon. And lastly, you maintain a cash buffer, as mentioned earlier. The beauty today is that ETFs make this structure far easier and cheaper than it was 5 to 10 years ago. One ASX trade can give you global exposure, and remember, Australia's less than 2% of the global market. So don't stay local by default. Part 7, opportunities for those who are prepared. Now let's talk about the opportunities, because I know the economy looks tough right now. I know there's a lot of change happening with AI and the war in the Middle East. I know it feels uncertain, but there will be plenty of opportunities for those prepared to evolve, adapt, and learn. And one of the biggest opportunities right now is energy. AI needs energy, data centers need energy. And right now, the world is scrambling to figure out where that energy is going to come from. Google has signed agreements with Kairos Power to develop advanced nuclear reactors to help power its AI data centers. Amazon has backed several nuclear projects, including small modular reactor partnerships aimed at meeting data center growth in electricity demand. And Microsoft signed a long-term power agreement that could restart the 835 megawatt reactor at 3 Mile Island nuclear generating station to supply energy for its data centers. This is what's happening. And if you're looking at the bigger opportunities and you're reading what the market is telling you, energy is one of the simplest plays. Oil was at depressed levels just a few weeks ago. Uranium is still cheap, and tech companies are betting big on nuclear. Now, I'm not saying to go all in on uranium, but if you're building a satellite portfolio, this is the kind of theme you want exposure to. And it's not just energy, it's cybersecurity, it's digital infrastructure, it's AI-related stocks. The World Economic Forum says 39% of key skills are going to change by 2030. The fastest growing skills are AI, big data, networks, cybersecurity, and technological literacy. So if you're prepared to learn and you're prepared to adapt and you're prepared to invest in these themes, you're going to be in a far better position than most. And yes, you can afford to make some mistakes, but do it within the confines of of your satellite portfolio. Don't bet your core portfolio on it. And if you want to help what to actually put in your satellite portfolio, click the link in the description and sign up for my newsletter. Our model portfolio, including the newsletter, is up 9.92% since June 2025, compared to the ASX at 4.42%. There, I tell you which names I'm interested in, which ETFs I'm trading, and when. And there's a 4-week free trial. So click the link, sign up, and let's secure your retirement together. I'll see you in the next one. And remember, always follow the trend.